This is the Vajrayana sales techniques. We're the faster path. We're the higher path. We're the path for those with greater faculties. We're the path for special people. We're not the path for everyone. If you don't like it, there are other paths, you know. And so what that does to you emotionally, I mean, this is just sales tactics. You know, you can go to any marketing course and they tell you the same thing, you know, like make your product special for special people and make it a bit secret, you know, and you know, people will flock to it because they want to be thought of as special. They want to be thought of as having the capacity, whether they've got the capacity or not. And you know, so that's all and dangerous, you know? And like you know, if you've got the guts for it, you know, it's like crush your ego, man. Like if you got the guts to have your ego crushed, you know, it's just like, man up, man, are you man enough for the Vajrayana? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just, I think people do need to see that, you know, because I mean, it's because it's there, you know. It's a psychological. You can call it a psychological manipulation if you like, but it's also, you know, that's how they think, and it's not saying it's not true. It's just saying that you need to be careful that that doesn't hook you. You know, and it's like, I think someone said that, you know, Dzongsar Khyentse was saying things about, you know, don't you want to be special or something, you know, and someone said to me, well, I don't want to be special. I didn't join up with Vajrayana because I wanted to be special, you know. It's like, I mean, I didn't sign up for Vajrayana. I didn't even want a religion, you know. I just kind of got seduced. You know, like a lot of people, I came for the Dzogchen. You know, I read the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying and came for the Dzogchen. I didn't come for the deities and the chanting and all of that. So, you know, but that kind of exotic flavour of it, you know, is definitely something that appeals to some people, and probably to those people who joined up way back in the 60s and 70s, maybe. There is this thing that I think you need to be aware of when you're listening, that in your desire to, you know, to go for enlightenment, you know, you'll do anything. And Chogyam Trungpa said this, you know, he said it's like, this is spiritual materialism, you know. If somebody says you've got to stand on your leg with your hand on your head for 12 years, you know, some people will do it, you know, like if they think that will get them to enlightenment, you know. And enlightenment is this is the lure, you know, this is the promise, this is the carrot on the stick, and I think we need to be aware of it, you know. And it's like practically all, you know, all the people who were close to Sogyal Rinpoche and got badly burned, you know, this is a joke. This whole idea of, oh, you know, be close to the Lama, honour him with your body, your speech and your mind, you know, which means, you know, work your guts out, you know, 24/7, get so sick, you know, you can't properly function anymore, you know, you're working like a slave, do anything that he asks you to do, no matter how bizarre it is. You know, that was their reality. They got involved in that level with completely open hearts, you know, they were ready for anything, they had committed themselves, they did want to work with whatever came. And what did they get? You know, a lot of them, they got to this point where they just went, hang on a minute, I'm not getting closer to enlightenment. I'm getting abused, I'm getting manipulated, I'm getting ripped off, I have bruises all over my hands, I have blood running from my ear, you know, I have been asked to, you know, I've been rung up at 2 a.m. in the morning and asked to give someone a blowjob, and hang on a minute, what happened to enlightenment? And these are people who've been trying, you know, for decades, they've been trying to work with this, to work with their own perception, you know, bring it all into themselves as if any problem that they see is their problem. You know, that's the way the Dharma teaches you to look at it. And then at some point, you know, their wisdom mind, and let's be clear about this is their wisdom mind. They've tried really, really hard, basically to ignore you know, what their wisdom mind is telling them, that there's something very wrong going on here. And at a certain point, they cannot ignore that voice anymore. And where is this promise of enlightenment? They have been so, their trust has been so completely and utterly destroyed. You know, talk about destroying the seed of bodhicitta, pure perception, Guru Yoga. I mean, it's just, it's the ultimate betrayal, really. And fine, if there's somebody over here who's managing to handle all of that and somehow or other it's bringing them closer to enlightenment, well, you know, great. Great, you know, if they can do it, fine, but that doesn't mean that they should participate in a situation where it's not fine for other people, you know, where somebody is basically so out of control that they can't discern who that behaviour is appropriate for and who it's not appropriate for. That's assuming that it's appropriate for anyone. And, you know, personally, I don't think it is, because there's a very big difference between slapping someone once to wake them up and slapping them every day or laying into them with punches. That's assault. Sorry. And when you're beating someone every day, that's abuse. In the end, you know, it all comes down to us choosing an organisation that we think is healthy. You know, an organisation, a lama that we think is healthy. And you know, Dzongsar Khyentse likes to put you down and go, well, you know, if you're not prepared for the full thing, which, you know, might be abusive, he doesn't say that, but he's insinuating that, you know, you need to open yourself up. If you really want to go for enlightenment, you know, you can't, he says, have 1 foot in samsara and 1 foot in enlightenment. You know, you've got to make the leap fully, but you can make the leap fully with a lama that you know, agrees that there's no place for abuse, that abuse is not a teaching method. For a lot of Westerners, all it does is just make you feel completely demoralised. And, you know, in the end adds to, you know, that and working really hard, adds to your, ends up with an emotional and physical breakdown, as has happened to so many in Rigpa management teams over the years. So, you know, until it's seen how incredibly broken that is, it won't be fixed. And there's this illusion that it's not broken, you know, and I think that is the big illusion. So the really big spin here is that if you give yourself over completely to a lama, you will reach enlightenment quicker than any other method. Now, of course, that only works if the lama you give yourself over to, or the tantric guru you give yourself over to, does actually know what is best for you and behaves accordingly. So, and you, in order to do that, in order to give yourself over with complete trust to this tantric guru, you have to trust that they know their stuff. You have to trust that they are actually able to individually know you well enough to know just exactly what you need, and to know whether or not you're somebody that they can, you know, who will respond well to being growled at. Not just be someone who growls at everybody. Yeah, so you have to trust that they know what they're doing. If the guru acts in a way that breaks your trust, the whole system breaks down and the promise was a lie. But of course, it doesn't have to be that way. It's only a lie if somebody doesn't uphold their end of the bargain. You know, you get sucked in, if you like, with this promise of enlightenment. Come close to the lama, you know, work hard for the lama and you'll be closer to enlightenment. It's only a lie if it doesn't work. It's only a lie if the lama doesn't actually have your best interests at heart. It's not a lie if the teacher genuinely cares about the student and takes time to actually get to know each student individually. And I'm talking here only about the people that are close to them, obviously, because when you've got a large gathering, you can't really get to know them all individually. You can, however, hang out with them as a group. You know, and and talk to them. Talk about their fears, their hopes, their illusions, their backgrounds, their perceptions on things, and just get to know them. So at least you have some general idea of people and their backgrounds. So you really, as a teacher, need to know your students, and then there is some chance for it not to be a lie, and that's up to the lamas. And they clearly haven't done that. They've misjudged their audience. I don't think anyone who has had their trust totally shattered by an abusive lama is going to have that same kind of unconditional trust for another lama, particularly when abuse is actually quite widespread in Tibetan Buddhist communities. And that's, that it's not just a shame, it's a total tragedy, and another indication of just how broken it is and how important it is for lamas to know the difference between abuse and some unconventional teaching method that actually is appropriate for a specific student, which would be an incredibly rare occurrence. And there's no reason why they can't write down the definition, so everyone's really clear. And Rigpa's working on a code of conduct at the moment, and apparently some lamas, I don't know which lamas, are working on the section. There's a special section for the tantric guru. It's a special category. At the moment, there's nothing there, basically. So they have an opportunity here to actually, write something in there that it could at least say that they must do nothing that will harm the seed of bodhicitta, pure perception, and guru devotion in the student. What's important here is that the level of abuse that happened in Rigpa never happens again. And for that to happen, it has to be much more widespread change than in Rigpa. Let's hope that Rigpa rises to the challenge. No, I'm not going to hope that. No hope, no fear. There's no point hoping. Yeah, it's just this matter of trust. I mean, people are not going to take the leap unless they've got, fairly good reason to believe that there's going to be a nice soft mattress at the bottom of the chasm that they're leaping into. And, that may not be the full kind of courage of a Vajrayana practitioner. Maybe they should be taking this leap without any sense of safety net at all. That's, that might be something to aim for, but in reality, for most people, it's not like that. They need a bit more of a reason to actually trust. And let's not forget what the leap is really about. The leap is taking a leap from our ordinary mind to our wisdom mind. That's the whole point. That's what the leap really is. The leap isn't, ultimately the leap isn't me, leaping into a situation where I, totally put my trust in someone else. The leap is me going into a situation, dedicating myself to actually living from my wisdom mind, living in my wisdom mind, seeing everything, seeing the nature, the true nature of everything and everyone the whole time. That's the leap. That's the true leap. So, let's not get sidetracked here with, details of, making a leap without trust. I mean, even the leap to your true nature is done with trust. You don't make that leap until you've got a certain amount of trust in your true nature. And the more that you do that, the more you trust it, because the more you realize that, things just work a lot better when you do manage to, integrate that state into your life. So I don't think you can separate trust. I think to try and do so is foolish. So, yeah, so, either commit yourself to not abusing your students or give them a safe word. Why not? All right, well that's it. That's the end of this one for today, and thanks for watching. Thanks so much to my patrons for keeping this happening for everybody, and I hope you keep enjoying my perspective on things. I do get a lot of it from talking to other people as well. So thank you to all those people who also give me inspiration just by being there. And may all of those people who've been harmed be healed, including the lamas, and may Vajrayana Buddhism shine again. May it come out of this tawdry time into the stainless purity that is what Vajrayana is, truly. So, yeah, that's it for today. Bye.